What's going on, everyone? It is Monday, July 31st. We are way past the halfway mark of this year. Freaking entering into August, guys. This is crazy. Summertime. So let's see what we got. And with that being said, too, actually, it's July 31st. So that means this week is NFP week. So NFP week comes on a Friday. And there's actually a bunch of news events happening today or going into the morning. You got AUD news 12:30 Eastern. You have USD news 10 o'clock Eastern, and then later that night you have NZD news. So that might be something I catch. And then following days coming up, you have USD news, non-farm employment change, GBP news here, and then the next day is non-farmers payroll. Boo. So we got a lot of news events coming up, but push the market in the right direction, hopefully, and grab some pips. So let's take a look at what we're doing this week or today and see what's available. So last night, I looked at all the JPY pairs were pretty much the 1-day peak formation highs or lows, and I was bullish on every single one of them. And they pretty much did exactly what we wanted, where it just continued up. It wasn't any pullback, nothing. I wrote it down last night in the description. They were all bullish. So I caught a USD JPY trade from this point up to about 14219. It was 1907. It was like right here. This chart on here is a little off because of all the numbers, but it was about like right here. So it was a quick 24 pips, but I'm trying something new. Not with my entries or the way I actually look at the market, but just the way I'm actually getting out of the market. So it's not scalping, but it's like an intraday. So a scalp is like you're in, you're out within minutes, or I guess within like 10, 15 minutes. Here, I'm going to be holding them for like hours, but I'm going to pull out a lot sooner, depending on the setup and how it all works out. So we'll see how it goes. But now we have a continued peak formation low on USD JPY, and I still, based on the analysis I did yesterday, I still think we still have that move. So let's take a look. So right now, based on the analysis that we did last night, this was the zone that we wanted to hit. Currently, it's hitting the 61.8 on the daily, but because of how high this move was, or because of how high this imbalance is, because of how deep the push is over here, I wasn't expecting a shot up just to hit the 618 and drop. I was expecting an extended push up into this zone. So I think what we are going to see is a continued push up into the imbalance, into this order block or supply and demand zone, and then also to bounce off of these resistance lines. So, and this is a channel. So this isn't like the most perfect setup, but we're looking at it like right here. Obviously, price reacts to this specific zone. You got 1, 2, 3 reactions, and now it's lined up with this overall area. So I'll probably be looking for it to push up for the next day, and then we'll expect some sort of reversal as it comes up to this point, maybe a little bit past it, and then dropping. All right. So with that happening, I'll probably be looking for sells, but until that happens, I'd say still remain bullish until we see that happen, right? So essentially, I mean, from a higher time frame, this could be a perfect sell once it gets up here. I'll have to fine tune it. It's got the zone right here. So I'll probably look for an entry for a sell around this area. And that's on the 4 hour. So if we go down to the 1 hour, the 15-minute, we'll probably be able to see some sort of shark fin that pops up where price gets pushed up over to the extremes, maybe on the 1 hour as well. And then we'll see some sort of reversal where we can take it back down. So just be careful with this. I don't really want to put this down for anything specific until I have clarity, but we'll see it make that move up and then possibly shoot back down. So be on the lookout for that. And then, yeah, I mean, if it doesn't end up making that push down where it just kind of reacts, it will probably, because of the trend line we have here, it could shoot up and then bounce down and then maintain this trend. So it could come all the way back down to this point and then just consolidate into the here and then take off. But I mean, this is the daily, so we got plenty of time. Let's see how it reacts here, because if it bounces off of this zone on the daily, then we're going to have multiple days of selling, of drop, where we can come in and grab some serious pips. So let's just see what happens as it plays out. Now let's go to GBP AUD. So look, this one tanked. So that's a peak formation high. Go to GBP AUD. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 reactions, 5 broke through. Now we have price coming down to be, oh, hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Finish this. All right. All right, let's see. So I don't really think this part's valid anymore. So let me get rid of this. This one broke through. Daily. Price shoots up, comes down. Getting all these distractions right now. Hit that daily resistance zone with a 4-hour. It's stuck in this consolidation, but it's maintaining a specific trend line here. So here to here. So it hasn't broken this yet. And we have price that's breaking through here, but with some reaction. So I'm going to see how these end up holding, but it's not my favorite setup right now. So I'll probably not touch this. I mean, if we do end up looking for anything with that peak formation high, it does make sense from that. So we could see something where it decides to stop hunt high and bounce off that 50 or the 4-hour resistance zone and then drop down to this area, which let me see if there's actually any imbalances. Okay, so we have an imbalance here where price already went down to and it's consolidating on top of it. So we could see a push up in that false move direction and a continuation down. Now, but we have a massive drop here. So price is most likely going to want to fill that area like how it did here. So you have a big drop, right? And then over the next 3 days, it shot up. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be straight up today, but we can start seeing some bullish moves as it progresses. Because right now there's no signs of it being a drop. All this is telling me is that it wants to fill it. So let's see how it ends up playing out tonight, because this could be something that it takes a couple days. See, like right here, this whole section, this was a whole 2 days before it decided to reverse. So that's where we're at right here. Same here, whole day, a whole day. It dropped here and then reversed the end of the day and then continued. If this is going to be a continued rise, then we're going to see this consolidate for a little bit and then it could push up. Now with the AUD news at 12:30 EST, this actually might just decide to push it up if it does do that. But I'm gonna take a pause on this one just for the fact that it's not really what I look for. I'm trying to be specific in how I look for these setups. So we'll see how it plays out going into tomorrow, maybe potentially after the news, and then we'll probably have a better direction of where we want to go. Because if it does shoot up here and then hits like a zone, probably like a Fibonacci zone, where if we go from the top down to where the low is currently, we could see it push up to this imbalance or up into this 50 zone. Oops. So it's just a matter of patience, but it's not my favorite setup, so I'm not going to be like all over it. Let's go to GBP JPY. This one's going to be just like UJ, continuation push, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, so it broke out of this trend line. That's great. Best case, we have a pullback for a retest and then a push up, right? So this is the 4-hour. Excuse me. It's the 4-hour. See if there's any imbalances. We got an imbalance down here, meets up with the 50. And we already have some hidden divergence going on right here. So you got price going up, price is going down. The only thing that's stopping this from being a successful setup for a continuation up is the pullback into this zone down to the 61.8 area and the 50. So if anything, I'll be looking for a continuation move, just like UJ. But at the same time, we got to see how far, because if this decides to go up to the recent high and drop, then that may not be something we want to get our hands on. But we have the, this is a wick on the weekly, actually. You see that? So this could actually be a continuation push. And if we go back to UJ, we could see it break past this barrier as well to go up to the highs of here. So it's in an interesting spot. But I want to say that these are going to most likely continue. I mean, I'm going back on UJ right now just because of how it's all set up. But on a bigger time frame, it definitely makes sense for it to want to continue to push. And just based on how high or big this drop was, I mean, this drop from here to here, it's filling in all these gaps, but I think it still has some room. We will see, though. We will see. So I'm going to just say expect a continuation up, just like I did for UJ. So let's stay with that on GJ. Best case scenario, you look for a pullback down into this zone. That would be prime. If it does do that, then you have a buy entry and you can look for it to take it to the recent high or maybe up to the 4-hour resistance zones. That would be the best case scenario. And then we have the 1 hour. There's a bunch of them. I'm just stick with the 4. So we'll look for a shot down, matching the imbalances, and yeah, decent resistance too, support. Let's go to GN. And by the way, what I'm talking about with USD JPY and GJ, that pretty much goes for all the JPY pairs. So there's something going on with the JPY right now that is making it act the way it is. So FinViz, if you haven't looked at FinViz before, it tells you the strength of each of the currencies independently. And JPY is still super weak. So because JPY is still super weak, based off of the day, this is the 1 day, then we're most likely going to see this JPY pair still push up, because if it's weak, that means JPY is going to go up. So I would say for every single JPY pair, look for bullish moves. Now, with that being said, it's because JPY has the tendency to just not just go up here and pull back. It tends to do some crazy continuation moves where it just everyone thinks, oh, like it made a new high, so it's got to pull back. Sometimes it'll just ignore that. Not all pairs. I just noticed that from years of looking at the JPY. Like, look at this. That's a straight rise. You know what I mean? Like anybody in their right mind looking at this for the last 2 weeks would have been thinking there's going to be a pullback. But look how long it took. It took 2 weeks for that to pull back. So this same thing could happen over here. And I'm going to wait for some sort of pullback down on a shorter span to most likely capture that move. And then we'll look for the bulls. We'll look for the bulls to ride the wave up on all the JPY pairs. So let me go back into what I was talking about. GN. So we go to GBPNZD. Well, this pair had been dropping. It's been consolidating. This is actually one of the things I think I talked about. It was 2 nights. So this was Monday. This was Friday, Thursday. So Thursday I had it continuing down, but it was maintaining. So it's still ranging. The fact of where it's at right now, if it decides to just break out of this area, it could drop, but I don't think we're going to see that just yet. I think it's going to maintain the consolidation. So I would say be looking for bullish moves. Even though it says peak formation high, it's going to say that, right? And there's 3 types of peaks. There's ranging peaks, there's pullback peaks, and there's reversal peaks. And we're currently in a ranging peak, meaning that although it's saying peak formation high, this could be completely wrong, and I think it's going to refill all the way back up. So I'm going to say look for bullishness on here. GN is going to be bullish tonight, not bearish, until it decides to do some crazy moves, which this is probably saving up itself for the next day or two when GBP news comes out. So let me put JPY pairs for here. Pairs. And you got GN. Okay. CAD JPY, same thing, bullish. Let's go to AD CAD. What is it for? Peak formation low. This is just a pullback. Yeah, that's not a complete structure. It needs to drop a little bit. So if this is going to be a buy, it needs to pull back a little bit farther, and then we'll see some sort of rise. That's if it continues. Let me look at the daily. So it's in this consolidation on the daily here. So I would say for sure be looking for buy. It didn't come touch this trend line, which I guess could be a good or a bad thing. Either good because it decided to reverse earlier and we're going to get in on a quick buy all the way back up to the top on the daily, or it means that this is going to drop one more time and then we'll see it hit down to the bottom and go up, right? So I don't like this setup right now. I would say let's wait. Well, based on the 4 hour, let me see if there's anything. If it decides to shoot up a little bit higher, we have this peak formation high, and you got there. So I would be waiting for it to shoot up a little bit higher, probably hit to the 61.8 zone. And if it hits up there and shows a pattern on the lower time frames, then I'll most likely look for the sells. So it's not clear though, so I'm not going to be really paying attention. I think I'm waiting for a more secure setup. And for those of you that have been watching, you know when I'm pretty certain on a pair that I'll be like, this is my pair. This is it. So this isn't not the setup I look for. I just know that I need to see it push up a little bit higher, and I think that's what we're going to see. So let's go to AD Chief. Four hour. Finally starting to make some moves up, but it's still not outside. It still hasn't shot up yet. Now, this AUD news could actually push it up moving forward because we are at a low that it has been at for a while, and it is divergent. So I would be careful. Definitely be careful with this. It says peak formation low. I haven't seen a significant push that would make me want to buy this yet. I need to see a bigger push up, and then when we see that bigger push up, we'll see it drop back down for a pullback, and that's when I'll start looking for buys. Right now, it's still not solid, so I need to see bigger pushes up. Once it comes and pushes up higher, maybe past this area on the 4 hour, like this zone, that's when we'll see it go up, come back down, bounce off the 50, and then go up and hit that 200 EMA for take profit. So this should be pretty good. We'll see. We just got to be patient and wait for the setup to show up. Let's go to 80 JPY. For that one's still going to be bullish, I believe. I still think we're going to see bullishness on this overall. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to keep it bearish or bullish, sorry. AUD USD. There you go. All right. So it broke through here last night. This we didn't actually look at this pair, but I'm glad it's pulling back into the zone because it's bouncing off the trend line from here and the trend line that it broke from down here, which honestly probably could be better. So we have here. So, and there's AUD news, so we gotta be careful. Unless something happens with AUD where it just becomes super bullish, then that only will make AUD JPY like and the other AUD pairs like really beneficial. But this push up doesn't really look bearish to me. Although it is retesting, the EMAs are really tight. So this whole logic of it going, oh, like, let's look for this, kind of goes out the window, right? This could go and then continue up. AUD does that kind of shit too, where you think it's got to pull back, but then it just continues up straight, just like JPY. So let's see, man. It's not my favorite position, so I'm not gonna be trading this. I like the JPY pairs more, to be honest. It's just I gotta find the right JPY pair. So I'm gonna hop off of this one. I'm not really gonna be paying attention as much. And based on what it does from here, I'll have a better idea. All right. So I'm gonna have a better idea of what it does after AUD news. If it's gonna shoot up, then I know I got some more room for buys. If it shoots down, then I want to be looking for solid sells. All right. NZD CAD. Oh, actually, I'll do this one. NZD CAD. Okay. Peak formation low. Daily. I don't need this anymore. I broke that. What we do have is a couple of spots here. There. And then here. So it's got this little box that it's encapsulated in, and we have a couple things that could play out from this where based on the structure, it could go up, break, come down, go up, or up. Oh, we got 10 minutes left. Damn Zoom. And we see it drop back down to these levels, right? So let's see. So you have the daily resistance right there. We have 4-hour resistance at the top, but also a bunch of supply. So supply and demand, not supply, but support. And then we have the 1-hour. Yeah, it's just going to be consolidating for a sec. I like the 4-hour the best recently. It just seems to be a lot cleaner. It takes a lot longer, but I mean, when it hits in certain zones, it hits. So I'm going to say this is bullish. To peak formation low. Yeah, this looks good for a bullish move, guys. With that wick down here, price going up, bounce off the channel. This has room to shoot up towards the 200 moving average. So if we do that, we got 28 pips, not a lot, but I'm going to say this is bullish for tonight. So NZD CAD. And then based on how it moves, so it's going to either go up from here, so you can capture the rise up. And if it breaks and takes out this high, breaks, takes out the high, comes back down, then we have a better buying opportunity. That's going to be more solid. Or you can be patient, wait for it to hit. If it doesn't break, then it's going to bounce back down and you can capture it down to here. in which case I think it's actually best, instead of saying buy, I think we just need to wait for it to get to that zone, right? Because if it breaks through, then we know we're gonna have a buy. Like this is where it's great. If it breaks through and breaks this high, then we know we're gonna have a pullback, and that's when we're gonna be entering. If it doesn't break it and it decides to reverse, then we know we have it until it gets down to here, right? That's gonna be the ideal zone. I believe that's a 4-hour, kind of. Nothing yet. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking for. Nothing crazy. Got NZD Chief. Okay. I still am bullish on the Chief pairs. Let me see AUD Chief again. I still have bullish hope for it because the other Chief pairs like USD Chief. Let me see if that's even on here. Been 3 days already. I've been waiting for USD Chief to fill this whole gap right here. So it needs to go up, and I believe that's what we're seeing. Similar to NZD Chief, that I mean, it just broke the highs, so it's got a new high. Most likely going to consolidate a little bit and then push up. So let's check it out. Okay. So I'm going to say we're bullish on this for sure. I like the setup. It's got room. It broke structure. The only thing it needs to do now is make a pullback. Now, question is, where is that pullback going to be? Based off of this low. Down to here. Once it pulls back, we look for buys. So NZD Chief is bullish. Chief. Looking for it. NZD JPY is bullish. NZD USD. Okay. Go to the daily. Been maintaining this trend line. Only thing is it broke out of it here, but that's because it's ranging, so that can do anything. Weekly. Weekly closed bearish too. This could be a pullback or the pivotal point. So far, it looks like it's a pullback, and it is got resistance, or what is it? Hidden divergence on the 1 hour, but it's based on these points right here, and it's off at 61.8. We'll see. It's either going to reverse down to here, or it's going to do something where it goes down like this. I'm going to draw another one for you. Or it's going to drop down to here, this area. If it drops down to here and then pushes up, it's going to be interesting. But the fact that it's stuck in the middle like that, I don't like it. I like precision. I like knowing which way it's going to go. And right now it's in between two. I would say stick to the higher time frame one, but the EMAs are really tight on there too. So I'm most likely not going to touch this pair. Euro NZD. Okay. I got another 4 minutes, guys, and then I have to hop off because this thing ends. So I'll probably get this pair in and I'll do one more and then we'll call it. Okay. Don't need this. It's the same thing with this. It's all consolidated. 4 hour looks like it's a solid range, meaning we would see it go up, down, up to fill in some of these gaps like that. Got the supply and demand or imbalance. I keep getting it wrong. You got the 4 hour resistance. You got the daily support down there. Let's see what the weekly's saying. It has this weekly trend line that it hasn't come back down to retest yet. So that gives me incentive for it wanting to actually drop down to finish what it started. It bounced off of this high. So we could be seeing it pull back up for an eventual drop back down, meaning we would want to see it go up, but then tank, right? So let's be careful on this pair. I'm not going to touch it either. It's just too choppy, and I want to see it break in one direction before we touch it. And then I'll do one more. So JPY. Let's see. Everyone likes gold. Let's try gold. So I initially had like a gold for a sell, but what I did was I said I need to see gold go up first last night. So I said look for it to be bearish, and last night it went down, and I was like, it's gonna need to shoot up first around this area, and that's exactly what it did. It shot up, hit into this imbalance right here. Delete this actually. Went into this big imbalance, hit the 4-hour resistance. It's inside a daily resistance, and I think we're about to see it start to make its move back down. That would be the most ideal situation. 4-hour, and the reason I say that is because this is the head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, drop, break a structure down to the low, change a character actually, and then pull back to the high-ish, and then look for that drop. So if this is going to be a drop, then we're going to be looking for a solid entry point. And if we go down to the 15-minute, it's already started making that move down. So our only opportunity for a sell that makes sense is looking for it to drop a little bit more and maybe pull back. And when it pulls back, then we can find our entry. So I'm going to say we're bearish on gold, continued, and we'll be looking for some sells. So let's see how it plays out. I like gold. I like the JPY pairs. I like NZD Chief, and said I like GBPNZD, which just because it's ranging like this, I like it more for the bullishness, but it's not as clean as what I like for NZD Chief. So yeah, that's all we got for tonight. Let's see how all of it plays out, guys. And yeah, I'm gonna be on Wednesday. I'm gonna do one more tomorrow, and then I'm gonna be off for the rest of the week because I'm moving. So I'm not gonna be on the calls. I'll be in the group chats talking, but I won't be able to do a live call. So 2 more days, and I'll see you guys in the following week. But talk to you guys later. Peace out.